Hey guys, what's going on? I hope you're having an awesome day thus far. Just quickly, I want to apologize. I lost my little mic, and so this audio is just coming straight from the camera right now, and there's like a ton of construction and beeping cars outside for some reason, so hopefully it's not too loud. I guess if it was, I wouldn't be posting this, or I'm just too lazy, and I wanted to post it anyways. But either way, let's hop right into the topic of today's video, and it's all about weight loss plateaus and making progress. More specifically, I want to talk about why looking at body weight alone may not be the best idea if you are in the process of trying to lose body fat and build a leaner body. So before I hop into weight loss plateaus and how to figure out if you're in one or not and everything to look at, I want to tell you about one of my clients. Now she is, her name is Lizzie. She might be watching this, maybe not, but she is basically somebody who has come to me who has never really struggled with their weight all that much. Obviously, if you know my story, I've lost over 140 pounds. A lot of the clients I work with tend to be people who have over 50 pounds to lose. But whenever she came to me, she was actually, already fairly lean. She's like, a smaller female, so around 5'1" or 5'2", and I think she weighs 135, 130 pounds. So obviously, smaller already. But she came to me because she wasn't happy with her body fat percentage, right? She wanted to build some muscle. She didn't feel like she was very lean because she had fat around her midsection and around her hips and in places she didn't want it. And so, I told her this right off the bat, but when we started working together, I said, don't expect huge drops in the scale, because really at her level, the goal isn't to just maximize weight loss, because you can lose so much weight before it becomes a bad thing, right? And for her, it was much more about losing fat, and more specifically, building lean muscle so that we could change her body composition. And that's another thing I want you to remember as we're going through this video, is why changes in body composition are really the goal over just simply losing weight. And so anyways, we worked together for a few months, and after a few months, it came down that she lost, I think, maybe 1-2 pounds. And obviously she was very disgruntled. Even though she sort of knew already that weight loss wasn't the goal, she was frustrated by that. But then I had to remind her, okay, let's look at everything else, because not only do I look at my clients' weight changes, we're also looking at measurements, progress pictures, gym performance, all these other things. And when you looked at all those, it was obvious that she was making progress. Sure, she was only down 1 to 2 pounds on the scale, but her inches were down dramatically on her waist and her hips. Her gym performance, like her lifts and her strength, were shooting up. And physically, you could tell that she would look dramatically different from when we started, right? I mean, when we started, you could tell she had extra fat around her stomach and her hips. And in the last photos we took, she was actually starting to see ab definition, and you could see a slimmer waist and all of these things. And she even admitted to me that she could fit into clothes that she couldn't fit into before. So in this video, I want to talk about 3 things that you should be tracking with your body that are going to determine whether or not you are making progress, even when the scale says you're not. The first thing you need to be looking at are body measurements. And this is incredibly important because it goes right back into the difference between losing body fat and just losing body weight. And so you can lose body fat and stay at the same weight. And if your measurements are going down, be it you are losing inches on your waist or on your hips. Normally with females, I tell them to look at their waist, which is right above your belly button, usually the most narrow part of your waist, like some people call it the navel, right? And you are measuring your hips, which is normally the widest part of your hips, which is around your butt and your hip bones. If those things are going down, it's an obvious sign that you're making progress. And so moving forward right now, if you haven't already, I would start taking measurements every 2 weeks at least, just so you can see those changes happening and make sure that those measurements are moving in the right direction. Now, the second thing you need to be looking at are progress pictures. And honestly, if I had to choose any of the things that we're going to be talking about today, I would say progress pictures are without a doubt the most important, because if you think about it, what really matters? Do you care about weighing a certain number on the scale or having a certain waist size, or do you care about how you actually look, right? Most people are going to say they care about how they look. If I said, would you rather weigh, using the client from before, if I told her, would you rather weigh 140 pounds but look the way that you wanted to look, that you think is around 120, 125, or would you rather weigh, what your goal weight was around 125, but hate the way that you looked, which one of those would you choose, right? I think it's pretty obvious you would choose looking the way that you want to look. And so with progress pictures, though, the one downfall is that sometimes it takes time to see changes. Usually I say expect at least 3 to 4 months to go by before you start to see any significant changes. But what tends to happen is once you've been on this journey for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, then 6 months, then 9 months, then 12 months, if you have pictures from every month, you're gonna start seeing those changes, and it's gonna be incredibly motivating. Honestly, I think more motivating than the number could ever be. And so, as I just sort of said, I recommend taking progress pictures at least once a month. You can do twice a month, like every 2 weeks, along with measurements if you want, but at least once a month, and then start to look at changes over the course of month 1 versus month 3 versus month 6, and so on. Now, the third area of progress that you need to be tracking, or looking at least, is how clothes are fitting. And to me, I think that's one of the best non-scale victories there can be, other than progress pictures, because nothing feels better than being able to fit into an old pair of jeans or putting on a t-shirt from high school when it's actually bigger, right? Like, those are some of the most encouraging and exciting emails I get from clients. It's never the, oh wow, I broke into a new weight range that I haven't been in for years. It's more so like I fit into a shirt that I haven't been able to fit to in 10 years. That's way more motivating. And sometimes your body's gonna make changes that you don't really see on the scale, or you don't necessarily see in measurements, or maybe that you can't see in pictures. But if there's an article of clothing that you're wearing on a regular basis and you feel it getting looser and it looks looser, that's a pretty clear sign that you're making progress, right? And so just to recap all 3 of those things, yes, look at your weight. And it will be going down if you're making progress, especially if you have a lot of weight to lose. But don't let that be the only thing that you're looking at. The other important things you need to be looking at are 1, body measurements. For females, make sure that you're looking at least your waist measurement and your hip measurements. For guys, it should be your waist measurement and your chest measurement, which I didn't talk about earlier, but basically that's your nipple line, under your armpits and around. So you would just take the tape and go around through here. You can take as many measurements as you want, honestly, but I would at least take those 2 for males and females. Now, the second thing you want to look at is progress pictures, obviously, because that's what most of us really care about, right? Seeing those physical changes, and just having a backlog of those is going to be incredibly motivating, especially as you continue to make progress along your journey. And finally, make sure you're looking at how clothes are fitting you and the changes that are happening, because if you are feeling like your jeans are looser or your shirts are looser or you have to go out and buy new clothes, it's sort of a joke that's like the best worst problem, right? Is when you can't fit in any of your clothes anymore and you have to go buy new ones. Who cares what your weight is, what your measurements are, or whatever. If you're feeling better and that's happening, it's a clear sign that you're making progress. So again, thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.